Okie doke. Let's see if this works at all. Is this working at all? That I am not sure. It says upcoming, but I hit live. So, what is going on? Is it working now? It says upcoming, but I hit live. Ah, okay, there we go. So, I think it was just a delay. What is going on? Alright, So, okay, so let's get that to come down here. Okie doke. So, I have not live streamed on this channel hardly at all. And the times I have lost subscribers. But that's okay. Other times I was playing video games, and this is not really a video game channel, so that kind of makes sense. I thought, since I'm doing all this rather repetitive and kind of boring motion graphics work, I could potentially edit on here, and maybe some people will like it, and maybe some people will hate it. We'll find out. Really quickly. Ah! It pops up here anyways. That's annoying. I don't want it to do that. Let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna turn that off real quick. And then hit that, hit that. And yeah. Okay. Yes, remove that. Okay. So, what am I doing? I am doing a video essay on Lo-Fi Girl. So, I'm doing this visual right now where 30 playlists are all gonna come in 3D. And I'm doing that in After Effects. Right now, this is the working comp. Oh no, I have like 104 things in here. That's gonna really bog this down. Should have realized that, but oh well. So right now, the current animation gets blurry, and then these guys come in. One thing to note about After Effects, if you're not familiar with it, is it kind of has to like live render everything you're seeing. It doesn't really have like normal video playback. And so things are quite laggy, especially since right now I am live streaming and running After Effects and Photoshop and Chrome and Premiere all at the same time. But who cares about perfect efficiency? Let's just do it. So yeah, so what are we looking at here? We got 30 of these Lo-Fi Girl playlists that I'm trying to animate into screen. All the way down here, I have a reference file. This is just a shitty JPEG that we are recreating. Hello, how are you doing? How's your day going? So right here we have this reference file. It's just a shitty JPEG where I cut them all out. I laid it out in Photoshop, and this is what we're recreating right now in After Effects. Why are we recreating it, you might ask? Well, let's turn this guy off. So all of these guys, here, let me turn him off. Actually. So all of these guys, I thought it would be a lot more visually interesting to have like 30 little videos all playing come in individually, and whoa, I just got a funny message. So So yeah, I want to have the videos like actually playing instead of being like thumbnail stills. So this is what I did for the live stream part. And I'm having them all on different 3D heights, so when it rotates, it looks more 3D. After Effects is not a real 3D program, it is just 2D, and it's good at rendering depth in ways that look 3D, but it's not actually using any like actual 3D elements. So that is essentially what I'm laying out right here, but with like the 30 playlists. One moment. Okay, sorry. Getting distracted by my phone a wee bit. Alright, I'm back. Hello. Also, thank you all, 4 of you. I think one of the 4 of you is myself, because I have the tab open. That's okay. So yeah, basically what's going to happen here in this scene is I'm going to have this flip, and it's going to reveal these guys. So right now, I don't have any of these 30 playlists linked to the rotation animation so that they can just sit in place for me. So right now, it looks like I've done about 13 of them, and now I'm working on this 14th. And yeah, this takes hours because it's a little repetitive, but basically the process, I'm downloading all these individual videos, I'm placing them, I'm resizing them, I'm linking the text and the emojis to the thing, then I'm rotating it, choosing a height, scaling it back down, and then rinse and repeat, baby. So that's what I'm gonna do a bit. It's a little repetitive and boring, and so I thought, hey, why don't I stream this, and if folks wanna ask me questions or talk or hang out or whatever, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm inspired by a YouTube filmmaking acquaintance I have named Denzel. He is an incredible YouTube filmmaker. I'm just gonna call him a filmmaker. He uses YouTube, that's where you can watch his films, but he's quite good. He does animated films right now, primarily Animal Crossing animated films that are very, very high quality. He's crazy good. Okay, so as I rotate this, nothing is happening, so I think playback is a little frozen right now. So let me purge all my cache files. Ooh, 93 gigs. Yeah, we want to get rid of those. Make this run a little bit faster. And you know what? I'm gonna... Give me 1 sec, and then I'll get actually started. Thank you to anyone who is here. Okie doke. Boink. Okay, we're back. Okay, what's going on? So this is my controller I have all these attached to. So if I rotate it on the x-axis, the ones that I currently have placed should rotate. Yeah, there we go. If this looks like a chaotic mess that you can't make heads or tails of, I would completely understand, but it makes sense to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this emoji and this text file to this video. And let's click on that. Now I want them all to be together, so now that I have them all selected, I'm just going to control bracket. So now I'm moving them all at the same time. I labeled it 14 to keep it nice and neat and easy, so now I'll just, okay, I'll put it underneath the video 13 layers. Boom. And I'm going to recolor them so visually I know what the heck I am doing. Okay, so I'm gonna click on emoji and text, and we're gonna link it to this video. So link, and then we're gonna link this to my controller, which I have all the way at the top. Boink. Okay, now, if I rotate the controller, hey, look at that, everybody's rotating. But this is just gonna be temporary. I have keyframes turned on, so I can just really easily reset it by just getting rid of this keyframe. This is really just a mere reference. Now this guy is not rotating. I don't know why, so let's find out. Something went wrong here. They're not 3D layers. Let's make them 3D. Boom. Okay. Ayo, what up? How's it going? Big ups to you. Okay, so we are rotating, and now you see everybody's moving on a different parallax because they are different 3D heights. Now, you might notice, even though they're on different 3D heights, when I go here, they're all the same size. So why is that? So basically what my process here is I'm gonna shoot this guy out. Alright, so because it's getting higher and higher, it appears bigger, right? Because when we rotate, we'll see that it's just higher and I'm not actually scaling it. I'm just moving its position in Z space. So how do I get it back to the same size as everybody? Well, I have these handy guides here lined up on the corners, and I'm gonna just put it right back on the corners. And I have my anchor point sent to the corner so I can just scale from there. And now I'm just gonna find the scale value that makes my bounding boxes line up with my guides. So now, despite it being like all high up in the air and shit, I'll be able to scale it back down. So then I'm creating the illusion that they're all the same size when it's flat, but when it rotates, you'll find that they're all actually secretly at different heights. And that is basically the rinse and repeat editing that I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna bring this down, and we're just gonna find whatever the heck the number is that gets us lined back up. That's about good enough for me, but you know what? I will be real precise and make it like that. Boom, that's like perfect. So now, if we go up to the controller, you will see that the one we just did, hey, look at that, it's real high up in the air. It's like the highest one. Woo! Okay, so next up is the Blissful Dreams one. So here's what we're gonna do though, to make sure that we have things running in the background at all times. Reveal, layer, and project. Okay, 14. That's the most recent one I have downloaded and added into my project. Let me go to my files here. So let's see here. This is my folder where I have a bunch of things downloaded. Let's see if I have the next one downloaded. I don't recall if I do. Blissful Dreams. Hitting B. Let's see if I see it anywhere. BL? Yes. Okay, I do. Fantastic. So we're gonna drag that in. Hit enter for rename, add a little 15. We stay organized around here, that's great. Do I have 1 AM downloaded is my next question. I might not. I might not. Let's find out for sure. Doesn't look like I do, so okay, we're gonna get it downloading. How am I going to do this? We might be wondering. Well, I have a new method of downloading things. Someone from the H3 Discord helped me with this actually. I can't remember their username off the top of my head, but they've been very helpful. I'm definitely going to credit them in the video. So let's see here. Because I used to use YouTube rippers like YT, MP3, you know, crap like that, which really, you know, gives you compressed, kind of shitty downloads of things. And I'm always, when I'm making my video essays and like showing media, trying to show it in like highest quality possible, because I think that that is good for evidence-based media. So this guy gave me a good method of ripping like the highest quality available thing. Okay, so this is the one we're gonna download, right? So I'm gonna go to Windows and open up, actually I think I already have it open, yeah. So I'm gonna open up PowerShell. So PowerShell, which used to be Commander in Windows, is basically where code people can write code. Now here's the thing about me. I don't know how to write code. I don't know nothing about code. I'm not a code guy. But you know who is? ChatGPT. So basically this guy in the H3 subreddit, not subreddit, Discord, gave me this real nifty program called YTDLP, which allows you to rip YouTube videos in like perfect quality, not using a ripper like YTMP3, but using command prompt. And so basically I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna say, hey ChatGPT, download this you know what? Okay, I'm not gonna fake write this out. I already wrote out the instructions in a previous prompt, and now he is just following it, so I don't have to type anything. But my previous prompt, I asked ChatGPT to write me code to download the first minute of this video in perfect quality and make sure it's compatible with Adobe After Effects. So I'm gonna just paste the video here, and it's gonna think for a second, and boom, it wrote me some code. So I'm gonna copy this code, go back over to PowerShell, I'm gonna paste it, hit enter, and now the download on the next video we're gonna need is gonna be going in the background. And you know what, while that's downloading, just to have like a further step of efficiency, I'm gonna have old ChatGPT here create the next code for me too. Okay, back to After Effects. So let's do Blissful Dreams since we have this one downloaded already. We're gonna pull this in, I'm gonna try to line it up center, bada bing, bada boom. Gonna hit right bracket so the video ends right here, drag it off screen. So now the middle is kind of our starting point. Alt left bracket to cut it off, and we're gonna drag it. And right now, I have memorized that I think the scale is about like 12.5. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna line it up with my bounds, and I'm gonna go right here to move the anchor point here. And now I'm gonna scale it until it's fitting with the bounds. That is the plan. And you know what, actually, I'm gonna make it a little see-through right now, because some of these thumbnails have their images blown up, so I'm gonna try to match that actually. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drag her to where something lines up. I'm gonna make her left eye line up with her other left eye. And now I'm going to take this anchor point and I'm gonna line it up, and now I'm gonna scale it up until they're like the same size. Boom, that's like about the same. Okay, gonna make it fully visible, and look at that, it lines up pretty almost perfectly. We don't care about perfect though. Now I'm gonna make it like 30% visible, and now I'm gonna use the pen tool to cut the rounded rectangle shape we want. Now the thing about After Effects is if you try using the pen tool around guides like this, it kind of just latches onto them in ways that's really annoying. So I'm gonna move the guides. That's like the most tedious part of this for me actually, because I have to put them back later, but we're gonna just pen tool around. Also, I am sheerly narrating what I'm doing because I am not a streamer and I don't really know how to stream, but if anybody's viewing this and has any questions for me at all about stuff that's not even editing related, feel free to ask. But yeah, I thought it would be kind of nifty. Hey, look, somebody. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate that. Let me ask you, what videos of mine have you checked out and enjoyed? Because that's a very kind thing. Hope you're having a real nice day. Okay, I'm gonna put these guides back now. And I'm gonna I have a shortcut mapped, Control-2 to recenter. Okay, so now it's all back. Okay, and now I'm gonna select this, and then this, and then this. And now I'm gonna hit Control bracket. So now I'm just moving them all at the same time. And let's get it up to where it is the next in line, because I like organization while I edit. Okay, boom. And let's change the color so it's visually easy to see what's going on. Okay, we're gonna make all these 3D layers. Boom. We're gonna attach the emoji and the text to the video. We're gonna attach the video to the controller. Now here's the thing. Since I've done this like 14 times now, I could kind of just look at the rough, common-ish position values of all these. Actually, these are 3 very different numbers, so maybe not. What I was basically going to say is I could just do this without looking and just choose a random height, and that definitely would be faster. I did that on some of these out of laziness. What up? Oh, hey, Dumb Days, what's up? Everybody should check out his channel. He's a real neat music video director who does cool mixed media stuff. Like I was just saying, I'm not really a streamer, but I wanted to experiment with streaming some of my edits, see what goes well. One of my favorite YouTube filmmakers is Denzel. He does amazing like Blender and Unreal Engine short films, and he streams to his audiences quite a few times a week, and I love tuning into them. And shout out Alex from Dumb Days, cool guy. And you know, my friend Denzel, he has like, I think like 300,000 subscribers, and when he streams, he has about like 20 or 30 people watching. And I think that that's nice. He has a little community. And I was asking him, how do you grapple with live streaming your edits and not being worried about like spoilers to your upcoming projects? And he kind of said what I was thinking a little bit of, like, well, if people care enough to watch me making the thing, they'll probably watch it when it actually comes out. And I'm like, you know what? That is so true. And so I thought this would be fun. And I told him, hey, you know, I tried streaming some video games and I had like 25 people unsubscribe, which felt real bad. And you know, he was like, well, I have like 300,000 subscribers, so when I live stream, I lost like 600, and I was like, ooh. But he was like, but I have like 20 or 30 people here just kind of hanging out and watching, and so it's fun for them. And I'm like, you know, that is a noble way of looking at things. So hopefully I don't lose 600 people from doing this, but you know, I've always built this channel on the thought of like, I just want to make what I want to make. I make video essays and music videos and short films and podcasts and cartoons, and you know, if I want to make something, it's going on the channel. So I kind of thought, hey, if I feel like editing, I don't really give a fuck about Twitch at all, so why would I go do it over there out of fear where I have no subscribers and nobody's gonna watch it? At least here I have like 3 people, so that's kind of neat. Okay, another one down. Cool. Okay, 1 a.m. should be done downloading from PowerShell. Oh, it's not. Okay. So something I've noticed, it says 84% of 4 gigs. I think what's going on is PowerShell is like downloading the whole giant 4 gig file and then instantaneously at the end like trimming it to the first minute, which is what I asked for, which is causing this to go kind of slow. But you know, it is what it is. That does throw a little bit of a wrench in the smoothness of my editing here though, just because I did not want to have to be waiting for things to download. But look at that, it's like almost done. How is everybody's day going, if there even is anyone here watching? Wrench in the smoothness of my editing here though, just because I did not want to have to be waiting for things to download. But look at that, it's like almost done. How is everybody's day going, if there even is anyone here watching? Okay. It is almost done. Let's get the next one downloading. Oh, what the frick? Okay, yeah, so it finished, and then the next process is like trimming it, I think, and then now I think there's like a little lag period where it has to do something, because it looks like it's done, but it's not. I've learned that it's not actually done until the PSC user drive thing like shows back up. Yeah, see, there we go. Now it's actually done. Oh, wait, fuck. I added a 3 at the end. I don't know what that's going to do. Okay, let me do that again, actually. Okay, and let's get the code for the next one to start. So we were at 1 a.m. and then we started this one, and then Lonely Days. I think I already have Lonely Days downloaded, so let's do Jazz Afternoon Hip Hop. You know, some of these I think I already have downloaded from other motion graphics. Let's find out. Okay, Lonely Days is downloaded. Jazz? What about Jazz? Do we have Jazz? Does anybody like Jazz? We're listening to Jazz right now, actually. Okay, Jazz is downloaded. let's find out about the next one. Sleepless. I think I have Sleepless from another shot as well. I do, thank goodness. Okay, we're gonna speed up then. Morning Coffee. I don't think I have that one going yet. I don't. Okay, so that's gonna be the next one. We're gonna tell old ChatGPT to give us some download code for. Give us some code. Okay, back over to After Effects. Thank you for everyone's patience. We're gonna grab 1 a.m. Boom. Gonna drag this over. And we're gonna title that 16 because it is video 16. We're gonna drag that right there. We're gonna scale it to like 12%. We're gonna make it end right here. We're gonna drop that off screen. We're gonna cut it off. We're gonna drag that to start. We're gonna grab this. We're gonna move it on down. And stop. We are gonna do that. Okay. Now we gotta get it on the bounds. We're gonna try to line throw up. Looks like they kept the actual sizing for this one and it's not cropped, which is a bit easier because now I just gotta make it the actual size. Let's make it like 0.8 and see where that goes. Oh, almost perfect. Let's add a 0.5 to that. Bada bing, bada boom. You know what? Let's just go to a full 9. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's make the transparency like 30%. And we're gonna move the guides out of the way. And we're gonna get pen tooling like we did in the past. Boom, boom. Roughly right here. Looks right. Yeah. Boom. Right there. Yep. And okay, yeah. Looks like this guide should be like right there. And then we're gonna go like right here, and we're gonna go on down. See, this is why the guides being here is annoying, because it'll just attach itself to it when I don't want it to do that. It's just very tedious because then I gotta put them back. Boom. Okay. And we're gonna do that. And now we're gonna put the guides back. I think on this video essay I have edited a total of like 120 hours or so, and I started at the beginning of at the end of last year rather. But I kind of started over. Last year I edited it for like 30 hours over the course of a few months. And then I kind of had to put a pause on it to really focus up on my H3 video essay. And then from there, I was going to get back to it, but then the H3 green screen competition happened. So then I had to like go real hard on that. And then I wound up having music videos and freelance obligations and stuff. And then finally, it was August, most of a year later, and I started editing on this video again. And I was having a really hard time getting into it. And I thought to myself, why am I having such a hard time getting into this project? I'm gonna have to redo this one. I made it way too high. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what I've done. And I was like, why am I having such a hard time working on the project? And then that's when I realized, oh, I don't think the script is good enough, actually. And so back in August, I pretty much rewrote the script to this video, and I re-recorded a new narration, and I put everything together. Uh-oh. Okay, it looks like the bounds of the video are slightly smaller than the mask I have created. You see this? Look, if I do that, and that, you see? It's like clipped right there. That's no good. So, what can I do? I'm just gonna double click the mask and bring it up. Yeah, that works. Nobody will ever notice. It's the smallest detail of small details. Okay. I'm gonna bring that right there. And I'm gonna take the anchor, put it in the corner, and we're gonna make this only slightly smaller. See, I get concerned that when the size differences here are not that much, that I'm barely doing anything and I should make these like way taller, but maybe it's fine. I guess let's fucking find out, since these are gonna rotate in from the side. I'm kind of dumb for not even testing what that's gonna look like yet. Let me get a freaking idea. In fact, I don't even know why I've been testing it with X rotation, since it is going to be coming in from the side. I guess that is kind of stupid of me, huh? Okay, so I think what I'm learning here is that the one I thought was way too far out actually looks really good, and if anything, I should be going crazier with the rest. Yeah, because it's gonna come in from like a full 180. Dang, now I'm feeling like I barely did anything with the rest of them. I should go even crazier. Okay, good to know. Good to know. This one is the new standard. I thought it was the bad one. It turns out it's like the one really good one. What height was that? 300? Yeah, okay. The other ones, I'm gonna try to pussy out a little bit less and make them be real high. Okay. Hello to anyone tuning in. We are editing, we're doing motion graphics for my upcoming video essay on the Lo-Fi Girl and all of her lore. What height did I make this guy? 51. Yeah, let's like get this to like -2 hundo. I think what we're, fuck it, higher. I think what we're learning here is I need to exaggerate these a whole heck of a lot more. How is everyone's day going? If anybody has any questions, anything they want to chat about, let me know. Be happy to answer video editing questions. Oh, these are not, okay, I gotta, whoopsie, I was changing just one of the values. That ain't good. Okay, let's bring this down. Okay, like 35? Yup. Just 30? Yeah, there we go. Okay, next one. How has the download for this one been going? Hey, it finished. Yay. Okay. Best of. Did that one download already? I don't recall. Best of. It did. Okay, so, and then we have Lonely Days already downloaded. We have Morning Jazz downloaded. Sleep was downloaded. Morning Coffee, that was the next one we were going to run. Let's go over to ChatGPT, grab this code, tell it to download, bada bing bada boom, and then let's find out the next one we're downloading. Best of 21. Do we have that downloaded? Nope. Okay, let's go grab the link for that. Yoink. And you know what I just realized? I figured out earlier that I can actually just have it create code to download every video in the playlist, so I technically could just have this automate, like, do all of them. The reason I'm not going to do that is because right now I have the custom code downloading just the first minute of things, and, or at least it still should be. Okay, over here it was saying first minute, on these other ones it's not. Let me make sure it actually is, because if it's downloading the whole video, so that is not what I want. 1A? How big is that file? If it's huge, then we did something wrong. Okay, good, yeah, it's just the first minute, right? Yeah, first minute. Okay, ChatGPT is just abbreviating what it says into me. Okay, frick, I got confused. I got a little tied up. What are we downloading here? Okay, Morning Coffee, and then, is this 2021? It is. Okay, that'll be the next code we run. Back to After Effects. Oh wait, I think there's one here. Here, let's clear the cache. Let's get visuals back. Let me see what the frick I'm editing. Okay, 12 a.m. study session. I think I glossed over that one. Do I have that? 12A. I do not. So let's grab the code for that one. Something got skipped here. Boom, boom. I'm grabbing the link before the and because that fucks up the code. We'll make sure that one is next. Okay. Back to After Effects. Okay. Best of 22. Let's grab that. Best of. Boom. Gonna drag that into the folder. We're gonna title that video 17. Boom. Line it up center. We're gonna bring the ending to right here. We're gonna drag it off screen. We're gonna cut it off. And we're gonna drag that to right here. Okay. Let's make it scale 12. And that is way too small. Let's see, it looks like it is 1:1 though, so that's nice. Oh, is this? Okay, yeah, let's line this up. You'll notice that right here it's lined up and here it's not. I tried to do a perfect job with how I lined all these up, and I'm now realizing I have some minor mess ups, but we're talking like 4 pixels here. When you're zoomed in, you're like, oh no, I'm the worst editor in the world, and then you zoom out and you realize no one will ever notice, especially in a million years, especially if they watch on a phone, because that's going to be like this tiny. So just remember that. Sometimes getting lost in the sauce over 4 little pixels is not worth it. Especially when you're making your own video for yourself. If you're doing it for like a client, that's where, you know, labeling and perfection is definitely a lot more key, because you don't want to get fired and you want to have a good reputation in your professional life. But when it's something like this where it's just a dang old video essay you're making for yourself, I now see that I am the only viewer of my own stream, so I'm kind of like, why am I talking? But I'm going to finish that sentence in case anybody is deranged enough to watch this not live in the future and say, yeah, when you're making your own video, slight imperfections that you notice that are genuinely not worth fixing are, well, I guess I got ahead of myself there. I was going to say not worth fixing. So, boom. Let's make it like 30%. Let's drag her right here. And you know what? It is a lot. It actually is quite cropped. I didn't even realize that. So yeah, let's line up the anchor point to the headphone. Hello to anybody jumping in the stream. We're doing some motion graphics editing. I'm making a video essay on the full complete lore of Lo-Fi Girl. Believe it or not, there is lore and storylines. And we're cracking the case. That's what we're up to. What does this look like underneath? Okay. Yeah. That works. Let's, this one, everything, oh, I see. She's like leaning back in one and then the other she's not. Let's line up the 2 lamps. That'll be probably the easiest way to do this. I'm gonna use the cat as the reference this time. Actually, the buildings. The buildings are a better reference. Boom. That's just about perfect. Just about. Hello! Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? How's your day going? Hopefully lovely. We are doing some motion graphics here for an upcoming video essay on Lo-Fi Girl. A video essay I'm quite excited about. I started working on it at the end of last year, and then I had to put it on pause. And I essentially started completely over in August. Last year, I worked on it for like worked on this video for a good 30 hours or so last year. But you know what? When I went to jump back into it finally this year in August, I was having a hard time getting back into it, and I was scratching my head as to why, and then I realized, oh, I don't think the script is really good enough. I don't know if this is a good enough video for me to even be excited to work on, and so I rewrote it, and I re-recorded it, and now since August I've been actually very excited to work on this. And I've worked on it for about like 90 hours or so since August. We're up to like 120 hours of editing on this thing. The H3 video essay took like 210 hours to edit. From New Jersey. Delightful. Lovely to hear that. What of my work or videos have you seen? I've made a lot of different things, so it is always really nice to hear people like my stuff, and when they say that, I'm always like, I wonder what the hell they have watched, because I make a lot of different, very unrelated things. That is kind of the one common theme on my channel, is that there's not really a common theme. It's just whatever the heck I'm in the mood to make. And right now it is a weirdly in-depth video on lo-fi girl hip-hop. Okay, let's reline up these guides. I don't really have a camera for this sort of thing right now because I'm not really a streamer, but I thought just narrating some editing set to some peaceful jazz would be a nice Saturday. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna connect these two to this guy, we're gonna connect this guy to the controller, and then we're gonna jet this dude out to like -280. Boom. And then now we're gonna, ooh, this one's kind of saggy. Yeah, that's better. And now we're gonna do that. Boom. Well, I hope you're having a good day. We're gonna put that there, and now we're gonna scale it to line up, except wait, is the guide where it ought to be? Is the guide where it ought to be? Why is there two right here? I don't like that. Get out of here. I don't want this extra one. Get out of here. Hey, scram, kid. Beat it. Okay. That looks roughly lined up. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna turn this guy back on. Oh, let's like mute these videos too. If I hit play, it's gonna be a nightmare. It's gonna be 16 videos playing. Boop. Okay, they're all muted. Grab this guy, hit S for scale, and we're gonna bring it down. Looking like 30.6 will probably do the trick. Hey, perfect. Right on the money. Okay. Let's give this the old test-a-rooney. Look at that. Only thing is these guys are kind of like the exact same height almost, and they're right next to each other, and I don't love that. So you know what? We're gonna bring this one. Do I bring it up or do I bring it down? What do I do? I'll bring it down a little bit, and then I can make the next one real high up. Yeah, so let's redo this one slightly. Bring it down to like, so what's this one at actually before I do that? 250? What? But it's higher. How does that work? Oh, probably because their source videos are different resolutions. That would make sense. Dang, that really throws a wrench in like memorizing the numbers for me though. Fuck. Huh. Guess I'll just have to keep that in mind, that the numbers are a little arbitrary. I'm dealing with 4K and 1080 at the same time. Okay, let's make this full 31 now. Oh, even bigger, eh? 31.5. I apologize that for anybody who's watching if this is like the most dull stream you've ever regretted clicking on, but this is how the video gets made. This is what I be doing for many hours. Hey, why are these numbers not scaling at the same? What was up with that? Why was it unlinked for a sec? That's weird. Not big enough. Yeah, let's 30.5. Nope. 30.33. 31.33. Yeah, that'll do. Next, okay, Lonely Days. I know I have that one downloaded, but let's check on the last download. Okay, it's going. Let's go back to ChatGPT, get the next one downloading in the background. Boom. And then the next one I was gonna have to download was thank you. Glad it's interesting. I'm curious what of my work you have seen or enjoyed, because I make a lot of different things. So if you feel like telling me, let me know what you have enjoyed in the past. Right now, I'm mostly working on this video essay, but I have some comedy skits I would like to make with friends. I've been enjoying making those this year. And what else? I really want to get to writing feature film script more. I see Joel Haver making his feature films and putting them on YouTube, and they're really dang good. And I'm like, dang, that's cool. I want to make movies, full movies, and not just the short ones. So yeah, I really need to be writing more, and I feel like good practice would be to just be making more skits and more shorts in the meantime, and then write the blueprints for a longer one when I have time. I also would love to learn Blender so I can make animated films like some of my friends do, like Denzel and Dumb Days. And Jarrell from the Jomo Show has been doing really awesome stuff. In fact, here, one sec. I'm gonna black out here for a sec. Sorry, fellas. I'll be right back. I'm still here, actually. I'm just turning off my computer screen. I figured I would send this stream to a friend. Okay, I'm turning it back on. Oh, on H3, cool. Awesome. Glad to hear that H3 fans have checked my stuff out. I love the H3 show a lot. I started watching it at the end of 2019. I started watching the H3 show like a little bit before, here, let me drag this so that her sad face is towards the beginning. That'll make it a lot easier to line up. Yeah, I started watching H3 towards the end of 2019. I had literally never in my life heard of Trisha Paytas. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. Honestly, when it comes to H3, I've been having a lot of fun making memes, but I have been genuinely surprised that anyone remembers my name in any context, because like I don't particularly pay attention to usernames when I'm like using the internet. I'm just kind of on the internet. So anytime people are like, hey, I like these memes this tall skeleton fella is making, I'm like, how do they even remember that it's from the same guy? I appreciate it though, it's very nice. What was I saying? Yeah, I started watching the H3 podcast at the end of 2019. I'd literally never heard of Trisha in my life, but I just so happened to start watching the show like right before she came on for the first time. I remember the first episode I ever watched was titled Ethan Ruins the Show, and I had heard of it before because I was a big Bo Burnham fan, still am. And so I checked out their Bo Burnham interview, and I thank you. I never really kept watching. I just kind of watched this like one-off interview they did. I think I watched a bit of the Bill Burr one too, and maybe the Donkey one. But yeah, I just I didn't really get into H3 yet until a few years later after that. And then what was I saying? Yeah, and then YouTube recommended me this episode they did titled Ethan Ruins the Show, and the thumbnail is like him in a gulag, and I decided, hey, we'll check this out, because I like comedy a lot, and I like loved it because I remember it was this episode where basically they were hashing out that the audience was mad at him for like pushing Ian into participating on a segment or something like that, and the audience was like, leave him alone. So then the next episode they were like, all mad at him. So they titled the episode like Ethan Ruins the Show. And I had never really watched the show at that point, but I thought that the whole like crew dynamic was like very interesting and funny to watch. So I just kind of kept watching new episodes. It's just like one of my many like random 2020 things I watched, because I think it was like at the very end of 2019 that I saw that first episode I watched. And then like very shortly later, like the next week maybe even, they had on Trisha, and I'd like literally never heard of her in my life. Never heard of her. And she came on, and she was like this huge personality. And I remember, and like I wasn't familiar with Ethan either, you know. And I just remember Ethan was like asking her like really direct, difficult to answer questions, and she was like going with it. And I just remember thinking like, who is this like confident ass host, like asking these hard-hitting questions? And it's like, I was a little aware of Howard Stern at the time, so I was like, this is kind of internet Howard Stern-y. And I'm like a big Conan O'Brien and Letterman fan. Like I definitely love the art of like talk shows and comedy and just stuff like that. So I just remember thinking like, who the heck is this guy? This is crazy that he's asking all these questions and they're having this like raw conversation. And which, you know, some people can be like obnoxious interviewers asking overly personal questions, and it's like very intrusive and annoying. But with him, it was just like funny and compelling. And so I was like, I'm gonna keep watching this. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. And then sure enough, they had on Trisha a few more times, and then the pandemic started happening. And then it was kind of like that classic 2020 era where it was just Zach, Ian, and Dan and AB, and just kind of small talking over Zoom. They didn't really even have that many segments. It was mostly just them small talking. And that's kind of like what made me really love the show, because I was just like, this is a good vibe. Just a good vibe. Just a group of friends chatting, looking at funny internet stuff. And then they started doing more and more segments. There started being more and more sound bites. I remember when the whole soundbite thing kind of like started, because, you know, it was the Ian I have to pee so bad thing. Like, it was just so funny. Yeah. And then I remember Love started zooming in, and I just remember like being kind of confused. I think I missed their explanation of it. So like one day when he started being around and there was just like some Swedish guy on a computer, I was like, who the hell is this? So that was funny. Yeah, they all have great chemistry. It's really cool to see it keep on going. I feel like it's a show they genuinely could do for like another decade and just keep having fun with it, you know? I think my big thing is I like that they're always inventing new avenues to like just do fun, silly stuff. I think if you really boil it down, it's that, you know? Okay, let's make this 12. And let's find the next one that needs to download in the background. Let me go over to PowerShell. What downloaded? I got 12 a.m. I got morning coffee. Where am I at right now? I'm at afternoon jazz. So okay, got all these. Did I get Soothing Breeze? Has Soothing Breeze been a thing yet? Do I have that one going? Okay, that is this one. So we're gonna grab this code. We're gonna say, hey, download. And what was the next one? 4 a.m. I think I already have 4 a.m. Let's check. What is your favorite H3 thing? I guess I didn't even necessarily say mine, but I'm just kind of yapping about things I like about the show. Cozy. Okay, we don't have that one. Let's get this one ready. Boom. And we're gonna grab it before the and symbol because that messes up the code. Give me that code. Boom. Okay, back to After Effects. I like talking like Meowth from Pokemon from time to time. Back to Wyke. Okay, Sleepless. Do we have Sleepless? Do we have Sleepless in the folder? We do, we do. We're gonna pull this over. Boom, 20. And we're gonna pull this in right here. And we're gonna bring it to the end. And we're gonna bring it to the end. I'm gonna cut it off. We're gonna drag it down right here. I'll say one thing, I'm keeping the playhead and spot in place. This shit is gonna lag like all hell if I even remotely try to hit play, because I got like 30 videos in here. So we're gonna have to do something about that later. But for now, we're golden. For right now, we're just standing still, nothing to lag. We're gonna be all A-okay. Okay, let's take this to like 30%. Okay, she is bigger in the real thumbnail. So we're gonna line up those eyes. Yep. We're gonna move this right here so that it scales up from the eye. And we're gonna go up, 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 a little bit higher. Let's make that like 75. Another 0.25%. You know what? Let's make that a full 825. Yeah, that looks perfect. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, when Ethan left the studio and just left shirtless Eddie to yap for like an hour, that shit, I'll admit, it was uncomfortable to watch. However, like definitely unhinged comedic stroke of genius, and the payoff was worth any awkwardness that ensued, because when they patched in his mom to just sit there and not explain to her what was going on, and then she was like, Dan, what's going on? Or like, no, she was like, Dan, what's happening? And then he was like, not much, what's going on with you? That shit annihilated me. And then when they brought in Gabe and it was just them staring at Eddie monologuing, that was great. But then when it cut to Ethan just not even in the building anymore, literally just in a McDonald's drive-thru, that shit was like I couldn't believe what they had accomplished in that moment. That was just so goddamn funny. For Pete's sake, it was funny. That's why I find it like really ironic that like people who hate the show, who used to be fans allegedly, they're always like, why don't you make anything anymore? Why aren't you creative like you used to be? We like creative Ethan. And it's like, excuse me, do you not see? Are you not seeing what I'm seeing? Because oh, I just realized I lined this one up but never did it. Whoopsie. Let's get this down here. Well, I guess that just makes the next one kind of a little started for me, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't really, you know, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I think people who used to be like old school H3 fans and see that he has a podcast that goes on for hours and hours a day, they think like, oh, what are they doing? Just yapping instead of making things? But then I'm like, if you watch it, it's like deeply creative and original, and they have so many bells and whistles going on. I'm like, to me, this is like even more work. It's even more creative and inventive. They're constantly finding new ways to do interesting, cool things. And yeah, preconceived notions. People on the internet be having preconceived notions of things, for sure, when it comes to like hating on content or automatically loving content, whatever it is. I blame this somewhat on Twitter. I think that something that Twitter did to society culturally perhaps even more than YouTube ever did. Because the thing is, I'm going to sidestep my own comment, is that YouTube comments have been known for a long time for being like kind of nasty or mean-spirited, right? It's been a meme for many years, like, oh, don't read YouTube comments, people are mean or whatever, right? It's been a thing for a long time. But I think the thing about YouTube comments is that they're also considered, they've been for a very long time considered rare. Like, people will also equally say, who comments on YouTube? But Twitter became a platform that everybody used, and I think that Twitter has similar levels of anger and cynicism, and I'm not even talking just about like the modern day like Elon Musk like anti-Semitic Twitter, but I think like for a long time now, a lot of the prevailing sense of humor of Twitter is people being like quippy, people kind of taking things down a peg. I think that people have sort of created this cultural norm where people's default thought of like how to be funny is to kind of roast things. And you know, I'll be honest, I participate in it too. It can be funny to be like, bro is blah blah blah, or like bro is this or that, right? Like, you know, stuff like that. I feel like the prevailing sense of humor on the internet for like a minute now has been making fun of things or saying why things are mid or like whatever, right? And oh, is this guide like another guide point from the rulers? Is that what's going on here? Huh. So I guess that's why I have duplicates. Whoopsie. Oh no, am I just making infinite? Okay, there we go. And yeah, I feel like because of this sensibility on the internet, it is all too common for people to now kind of come at everything they see with a very skeptical eye and perhaps like a default mode of thinking to like poke holes in it or be like, what's wrong with this, you know? People have like more options than ever on how to spend their time with entertainment and distractions. And because of this, I think people are more and more anxious and have lower and lower attention spans, because when you're anxious, you kind of just want distraction and to be soothed, which makes sense because we're, you know, in pretty economically unstable times for like the average person, and so people just want to enjoy their free time and relax. But I think that it's kind of creating this self-causing problem where now people, much more so than in the past, really have to be convinced that something is worth their time. If you tell somebody, hey, check out this video, or God forbid this movie or TV show, people are like, they raise an eyebrow and they think, is this worth my time? I have a lot of other things I could be watching. I have a lot of other things I could be doing. And I think the grand irony in all of this is that most of the time, in this alleged precious time people have to enjoy hypothetically better things, they wind up not doing that, and we all kind of consume the microwave food equivalent of art and content now, where people would rather eat like 100 mini muffins of content that is like TikToks than a really nice 5-star meal that is like an Oscar movie or like a A24 movie or a Ghibli movie or maybe a really good independent film that somebody made and put up on YouTube. Those are kind of the things that people feel a lot of anxiety and pressure around committing to spending their time on, because it's a little bit more of a time suck. And it is I like the idea of calling something like an analogy, because then that makes that in of itself an analogy. But yeah, I think that because of all of this, people are a lot more nervous these days to be trusting in checking out recommendations from friends, or even really seek out new interesting things for themselves, whether it's movies or full albums or TV shows, because people are hyper aware and reminded every single day that they have pretty much infinity options for how they could be consuming free time content. And because of this, they feel a lot more skeptical at whether or not they really should spend their time watching something longer or something recommended to them. And I think because of this, it's somewhat created a cynical, prevailing sense of humor on the internet, where like I think the main internet humor meta these days is kind of to just shit on things or like poke holes in things and be like, bro did this or bro did that or whatever. I'm not speaking to criticizing things that ought to be criticized. It's just more so like the prevailing sentiment of like not cynically like not trusting things or like making fun of them. And that's why like I really enjoy like goofiness. I enjoy like sketch comedians, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or whatever the heck, who are just goofy goobers, people just making silly stuff, because I think we need more of that. You know, I love seeing something like Smiling Friends, because like Smiling Friends is created by Zach Hadel, the YouTuber Psychic Pebbles, and Michael Cusack, who's another YouTube / Newgrounds animator. And it's really cool seeing like YouTube, like internet era type people get an opportunity like making an Adult Swim show. It's really exciting seeing that. And on top of that, Smiling Friends is hilarious and like so brilliant. Like the jokes are just so good, brilliantly like written. 3am. Okay, what else here needs to be downloaded? Really quick, I am not the multitasker that I wish I was, so let's see what I have downloading next. I have Cozy, 2am. Do I have 2am downloaded? We have just about all of them. Yeah, Smiling Friends is awesome. It's so good. 2am. Do we have 2am? 2am. See? We don't. This is the chill wave one. So let's grab the Lo-Fi Girl 2am playlist from the YouTubes. And we're just downloading the first minute. Now I'm gonna go to ChatGPT, have it write me some code to download the first minute of the video in as perfect quality as possible using PowerShell. We're gonna hit enter, and that's gonna download in the background. And you know what? I'm just gonna get the code for the next one written as well, and we're gonna do that. Okay. I don't think I need any of that either. Boom. Okay. Back to After Effects. Where was I? I know I was on video 20. Yeah, Sleepless. Kobe. Yeah, Smiling Friends is so good. I was kind of late to the party too. I got really into it like a month or so ago. Perhaps 2 months ago, but definitely August was a lot of Smiling Friends. Something about me is I consume a lot of interviews and podcasts. Ever since I was very young, I just love listening to interviews. It's like one of my favorite ways to spend time, just like listening to media and stuff. Because I feel like a good interview, or even a bad one sometimes, you can really learn a lot. I feel like the first podcast I really got into was like going into college. I was into Chris Hardwick's podcast Nerdist, and you know, he would have like really big people on, but he also would have on just like random actors. I'm like, oh, I remember that person. They're like a small character on Scrubs. You know, just like some small person I would never think to listen to like 90 minutes of. But then you listen and you're like, oh wow, this person's like life perspective is very interesting. I'm getting a lot out of this. And so I've always loved interviews a lot. I started watching David Letterman when I was like a 4th grader, which I feel like is not the... I feel like 9-year-olds was not the target demo for the Late Show with David Letterman, but alas, I thought it was hilarious, because that's like around when I started listening to a lot of stand-up. I'm a very big stand-up fan. I know because of like all the shitty disciples of Joe Rogan, a lot of people are kind of winded these days by stand-up specials, and I think some people even think that it's like a dead or like near dead art form, and I have to say I highly disagree that it's dead. I think that there's a lot of really good comedy still happening, but it's just a lot of them are YouTube specials and not Netflix specials, and a lot of them are not Joe Roganites, I will say. And you know what's a shame too? I feel like for a while, I feel like of all of the Rogan sphere comedians, the best one was Tom Segura. I felt like he was a really strong comedian, and I watched his most recent special that he did at the Celebrity Theater, and it was pretty good. I definitely remember laughing a little bit, but unfortunately, like on Twitter and stuff, he keeps doing like these quote-unquote bits where he's like complaining about the pores and stuff like that. And I remember the first time he did that, I'm like, okay, he's doing like an ironic thing, but then he just kept doing it, and it got kind of annoying. I don't think he's a bad person per se, but I think it is definitely something to watch, because from what I've seen, he should watch out for, rather. From what I've seen, people are kind of starting to, he's kind of losing his fan base over it. People are kind of like, bro, why are you shitting on us? I think Shane Gillis is probably the best new comedian out right now. I think his special Live from Austin, Texas, which is a YouTube special, is like the best comedy special I've seen in a long time. That one was really funny. Shane is an interesting dude. I thought that his YouTube special, Live from Austin, was better than his new one that was on Netflix, Beautiful Dogs. And I've had a lot of friends of mine be like, you're crazy. And so I need to rewatch Beautiful Dogs and see if I am crazy, but I swear, like, the Live from Austin special is like so good. Like, it's so well crafted. And the Beautiful Dogs one I remember being pretty good, but it just didn't hit quite as hard to me. Another comedian I've been liking, I know, you know, like most comedians, he is friends with Rogan, you know, because they are in a tight-knit group, and he's been on a show a handful of times. But he's not like he's not like a Roganite, like Kill Tony comedian who is like just kind of a random up-and-comer that got like kind of nepotismed. He's a guy who's been around for a very long time. Is Joe List. I think Joe List is good. He is very subtle, which I like. He's a simple guy. He's just kind of a normal dude, kind of just talking about anxiety and being awkward. But he's also like a New York comedian instead of like a LA comedian, which I think kind of gives him, I think it's a good setting for his sets, because, you know, he's talking about like anxiety and awkwardness, but like in the Comedy Cellar to like a New York audience. And I think that I like that. If I remember right, his special I watched that I liked was called This Year's Material. And I think he's had another YouTube special he put up since then, but I don't remember if I actually watched it or not. Yeah, he's good. He did, what am I talking about? Okay, morning coffee, 12 a.m. I think this was the code I made for the 1 a.m. one, which is the last one I need to download. No, we're cruising through this. It's so easy to get derailed and procrastinating while editing, so I kind of honestly figured doing this on stream would just kind of keep me to task, and it sure is. Making good progress here. Okay, next one up. Morning coffee. We're gonna line that boy up. I'm not gonna narrate my editing though anymore unless somebody asks me to, because I'm enjoying just rambling. Thanks for listening to me ramble, everybody, and I hope you're having a nice day. It is 2:46 p.m. over in Arizona over here. Anybody here from Arizona? I sure am. Okay, I'm gonna line up the headphones. Yeah, what others? Oh, you know what stand-up special everybody ought to watch? I highly, highly recommend. Joe Pera's, bro. If you guys are not aware of Joe Pera, I'm gonna, you know what? Here. Joe Pera special. This one, Slow and Steady. You guys gotta watch this. In fact, I'm just gonna show the beginning here.
How about this door?
If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what to fucking tell you. if how about this door doesn't sell you, I don't know what to say, bro. Highly recommend Joe Pera Slow and Steady. It's in the name. You know what you're getting. Joe Pera. Oh, let me turn the jazz back on. My bad. So yeah, Joe Pera, if you're not familiar, is he's a comedian who is if like a 30-year-old was Mr. Rogers. And he is brilliant, very funny. He had an Adult Swim show called Joe Pera Talks to You, and it was it's to me it's like, okay, post irony isn't. I would say it's post cynicism comedy, which I think Smiling Friends is kind of a part of this comedy movement. And again, I'm saying this is not like these comedians intentionally were like, I'm being a part of a movement. I just mean like when we look back on this in the future, I think this is how you could define these movements. But I think Joe Pera is very much so like a category of like the post-cynicism comedy movement that's happening right now, where certain things are kind of just like, all right, we've had a lot of Rick and Morty and Deadpool and the world just kind of, looking at things with a very snarky, existential, kind of dark, brooding attitude. And we're going to make something that kind of goes the complete 180 other way, where it's just very sincere core, and the sincerity is like what's funny about it. So like Joe Pera, whether you consider it ironic or what, he more or less is embodying this, I'm going to call it a character, where he's essentially like just being like a Mr. Rogers type guy, but he's like 30. And gosh, it's amazing. He has this special I highly, highly recommend. Here, I'll pull this one up too for heck's sake. So this is relaxing old footage with Joe Pera, and this came out during the pandemic. It's set to this really, really beautiful music. And basically Joe explains that he's sitting on this relaxing...
Hello. My name is Joe Pera, and don't worry. No one turned me into a cardinal fish. I just gave myself a bad haircut and prefer you watch this aquarium footage I had saved instead.
So yeah, that's the vibe, and they show lots of really pretty footage, like kind of set to jokes. And it's like, here, watch this part. I'm just going to show this part to the one person watching. Shout out Sarah.
Groundskeeper lay down the chalk lines. He's giving boundary to the boundaryless, and it's kind of comforting to watch in these times. Steady, steady, steady. When we were learning geometry in 3rd grade, my teacher explained that unless it intersects with another line, a line will continue on indefinitely, even if the paper ends. With craft paper, pencil, and a little arrow, I could create something that continued forever. What incredible power for an 8-year-old. I don't know about you, but lately I've been doing a lot of sitting, so much that my back has begun to get sore. Stinks. I thought I was good at sitting. Despite all the sitting, I tried my best to stick to a routine. This grid paper on which to sketch my days. Wake up, call all my uncles by 10 a.m. At noon, eat lunch to the sound of my refrigerator humming. Then do one of 3 things I meant to do. Eat dinner, then read or watch a Bull Bar movie and go to bed. The next day, I'll do it again. Sounds humdrum, but now, more than ever, my routine is what stands between me and the abyss. I learned this lesson when one evening I decided to stay up all night to see what would happen. Instead of going to bed on time, I drank a coffee after dinner, and then watched 4 Bull Bar movies. It was great until the sun came up and I saw that there's nothing separating days but sleep. And though days have cycles and seasons have cycles, time is not a cycle for us, just a straight line. One that doesn't continue forever, but that's alright, because my routine helps me forget this.
So yeah, this like just deeply beautiful, deeply good. Also, are you guys feeling the jazz? Because are you feeling the jazz? Because I could change it up. I could change up to like something else. Could do upbeat Nintendo music. Let me know if this is a little bit more our speed today than the jazz. If this is annoying, we'll go back to the jazz. Okay. Are we feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Let me know if you want jazz instead of this. But yeah, Joe Pera, very, very good. Alright, we're gonna link these to the video, and we're gonna link this to the controller. I have newfound sense of life now that I've switched to the Luigi music. Let's bring this out to the side so I can see how far out this guy is going. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna bring that right here. Yeah, the thing that's real interesting as well about Joe Pera is that, you know what, this is so goddamn distracting. We're going back to jazz. Yeah, that's more our vibe. When I'm like editing by myself, I can do the upbeat Luigi music, but for right now, that was real overstimulating for me, and I'm sorry for even thinking of that. Okay. There we go. Let's change all these colors so we can easily see what the hell is going on. You like jazz? Okay. Yes. Okay, let's bring the guides back in. And I said I wasn't going to narrate my editing, but also I just keep finding myself doing it. I actually enjoy teaching. I don't think I would ever want to be a teacher like professionally as my main thing, because I just don't think it's like gratifying enough. Like I enjoy making my own things too much, which takes enough time to be like a full-time job. However, I do like teaching, so like I have thought about making tutorials, but doing it in the form of streaming is cool. When my buddy Denzel, who's an animator, streams, which I know I've said a few times on this, but I don't know if the people who are currently here heard me say it earlier, but Denzel, who's like an animated filmmaker, who streams himself animating, like when I'm watching him, he's doing hella stuff that I don't know about or understand, but at the same time, I'm like, well, if I ever really want to learn, that's good just having all these hours and hours of like in-depth work that I can kind of turn back to in the future. So I feel like this is a good substitute for the time being of making tutorials, because if anybody really wants to observe whatever the heck it is I'm doing over here, this is it. This is how the videos get made. Okay, 12. And then, do I have the final video downloading, or was there one more to do? Don't remember. Was this the last one? Was 1 a.m. the last one? I think it was. I think we got them all downloaded. Let's fucking go right now. Look at all that code. Look at all that boring code that I don't even understand. I'm just having a robot write it for me because we live in a dystopia. Okay. 12 a.m. study session. We're pulling this in here. Anybody new in here, anybody just tuning in, we are making a motion graphics shot that is probably going to be on screen for no joke, like 5 seconds. And hell yeah. Does Cameron do tutorials? I've seen him stream before. I've watched some of his Twitch streams, but if he does like tutorials, I was not aware of that. That's really cool. I've had a chance to meet Cameron from H3 a few times now. I met Cameron from H3 at the Zach Lewis concert last year, and we were both at the bar, and he was kind enough to chat with me for like 20 minutes or so, and he was a delightfully nice person. And then this year at the live show where he was a surprise guest, I made sure to say hi to him after the show, and I'm like, hey, I'm a random stranger who you met a year ago, and you were very nice, and it's nice to see you again. And he was like, cool, sounds good. I do not know that he remembered me in any way, shape, or form, because why would he? But he was very nice. Cameron, what's that Trump soundbite? It's like, Cameron is very nice. And he was. Okay, we're gonna pull this down here. We're gonna make this a little bit bigger. But yeah, I don't know if he has streamed on Twitch in a long time, but I always liked when he did. I definitely, I've been using Photoshop since I was a 6th grader. So I guess I've been doing Photoshop for 17 years, which is crazy. Which is like more than half my life. That's like most of my life at this point. Yeah, dang. I've been using Photoshop for most of my life. And I love Photoshop. I often think it would be a good practice for me to take more Photoshop tutorials, because the thing is about learning software skills, right, is you can learn a bunch of software skills and then do the things that you need to do, and then perhaps you get some client work and you get shit done with what you know how to do, and you kind of just find yourself in somewhat of a maybe not a rut, maybe that's not what it feels like, but you find yourself in a stage of comfortability, so to speak. And sorry, my brain kind of got fried there for a sec. I'm a very bad multitasker. I started doing something on my other monitor and I got very distracted. I was looking at YouTube Studio. What was I saying? Yeah, in any case, basically what I'm yapping about is I feel like with some of the softwares I've known how to use for a long time, like Photoshop, it's very easy to just coast on the skills that I learned like 10 years ago. And I think that it's important to like refresh and shake up your skills and still take tutorials and like make a point to learn things, because a lot of time the way people learn is they have a project and they want like a specific thing, and so then maybe they're like, I don't know totally how to do that, so I'm going to watch a tutorial to learn this specific thing for the goal of my project. And that's great, but it's also really easy to at times not do that and sort of just somehow do maybe a cheaper version of what you have in your mind using your skills that already exist, because it's easy to like just kind of brute force a solution than like go out of your way to go learn something new. And I think in addition to that, something that I used to do when I was first learning was I would just do a lot of tutorials for shit, not because I had a larger project in mind, but just because I enjoyed learning. And to me, Photoshop kind of almost felt like a video game where I was like trying to like complete levels, except the levels were me learning something. And I think that that's a very good student having fun mindset. And in recent times, something I realized I really had not brushed up on in a while was color grading footage. I kind of realized that when it came to my films and my color grading, it was like decent, you know, it was good enough, but I wanted it to be better. Because I would look at other projects and think, dang, the colors look so good. And that's where I was like, I should take some more color grading tutorials. And sure enough, I wound up kind of learning some methods and stuff that I had just not really done in the past. Oh, did we never download Best of 2021? I thought we did. Shoot. I thought that there was one that got left behind. I think I had it write the code for this one, but then I just never downloaded it. So I'm just going to have it write the code to download this again. Okie doke. Let's throw this on over. And in After Effects, we're just going to skip that one and go on to the next one. Okay. Soothing Breeze. Asian Lo-Fi. Yeah, color grading is really fun. Color grading in some ways is like my favorite part of cinematography, just because like when you're filming something on set or just in real life, I do a lot of just home movie footage that I kind of use for cinematic projects like later. It's always, you know, kind of not great looking in camera, and so then later it's exciting to like bring it home and kind of fully realize like a beautiful image. And like in color grading, especially with like cinema cameras, you can really bring out something really specific and beautiful and kind of completely different than like what you saw in camera when you were making it. I have wanted to do color grading streams because I think it's interesting and fun and cool, and I've really been able to transform some footage into stuff that was a lot more interesting than like when I first shot it. If you go onto my channel, something I released recently, it was like a live concert that I shot of an amazing Arizona band called Belgium Tree, and the stage show in real life looked cool and the lighting looked cool, don't get me wrong, but in my color grading I really brought out a lot of colors and textures that I'll admit were not really totally there in real life. And that's where it's like when you're doing kind of documentary style footage, you kind of have to ask yourself, like, is this ethical to make the footage look different or more beautiful than it did in real life, or, you know, should it? And I've decided, who fucking cares? We're making some entertainment. Let's make it look pretty. Don't really care. If you're making a documentary, that's one thing, like a real one. But when it comes to just watching some concert footage, I'm like, let's just make this look dope as fuck. And yeah, so I thought it could be cool to stream some color grading. Yap for like a full hour-and-a-half challenge. I have done it. I'm hoping I haven't lost a fuck ton of subscribers from doing this live stream. The last time I live streamed, I did video games and I lost like 25. Just kept going down, and I was just like, no, stop. Yeah, if you watch that, thank you so much. I highly recommend their new EP that came out this week called Structure Play by Belgium Tree. I'll even link, I'll link some of their music down below. I went and saw them last night, actually, and they are very, very good. Where'd my stream go? There it is. Boom. And boom. Okay. Yeah, their new EP is like kind of probably my favorite project of the year, unless I'm forgetting anything, because there hasn't really been this has been the year of like musical moments, you know, like with like the Kendrick thing, but there hasn't been a ton of like full albums and projects I've been crazy about. I love Brat. I love the Charlie XCX album. I've been kind of wanting to do an edit since summer is ending. It's the end of Brat summer. Brat autumn is now coming in. The Schoolboy Q album was good too, though. I will admit, though, I haven't really been re-listening to it. I love JPEG Mafia, but I have not really listened to the new album all that much, and I really need to. His first single, I think it was called Don't Rely on Other Men. It was good. It's very aggressive, and JPEG Mafia is kind of known for like some aggressive ass music, and that has just not been totally where my mind has been at lately when I'm trying to like relax with music. But I think lately I have been a little bit more in the mood for something like that. And my friend was playing me some of the other songs off the new JPEG Mafia album that I hadn't heard yet, and it was like really good. And some of them were prettier, and I was like, okay, he has some pretty bops on here too, because his albums usually are like a combination of pretty stuff and aggressive stuff. There's one song on his new album that so if you're not aware, JPEG Mafia is a really good kind of non-traditional rapper who's like, he's kind of like the king of underground right now. Like at this point, he is a bigger artist that people are kind of more mainstream becoming aware of, but he is still very far from being like a stadium touring artist or even an artist that would be super common for you to see like on the Tonight Show or like at the Grammys, even though he really should be like at the Grammys because he's probably like the most important like rap producer working right now, because he produces and mixes his own albums. And so yeah, JPEG Mafia, amazing. And there's one song on his new album where what he made the beat from, he, I guess on YouTube, found an AI cover of a song by Future. And it's like a R&B AI cover of a Future song. And then JPEG Mafia flipped that and then like chopped it up and made it into like a beat. And then that is like what he's rapping on his new album. And I think that that is an interesting use case for AI, because I feel like for one thing, instead of stealing from a small artist, it's just creating a cover of a fucking huge millionaire, Future. And then on another level, he's not just like hitting a button and then pooping out a song and then boom, that it's on streaming. He's using it as a source for sampling and turning it into something completely new. And so I think something like that is not necessarily harmful, and if anything is creative. The thing about AI art is I think that hold on, what's going on here? I think that the negatives far outweigh the positives. I think that while there is technically some positive and creative things people can do with like AI generated images and sounds, like JPEG Mafia creating a beat out of an AI Future cover, I think that the negatives outweigh it, and I would way rather just not have AI generative stuff. Because the thing is like, you know, like I'm saying, people are capable of using it in creative ways, but I think the negatives of small artists getting crushed, like Etsy, for instance, or maybe not Etsy, DeviantArt, one of those platforms where artists upload their stuff, I think is just like filled to the brim with AI shit now. And I think even like image licensing platforms like Adobe Stock and crap like that, you know, platforms that were made with like licensing real shit for utility uses, are just getting overrun with AI, and it's kind of contributing to this like dead internet reality we're in, where like nothing we're seeing is like inspired or real anymore, and that is very dystopian. So yes, I do think that there are some positive and creative things that people can do with AI generative images and sounds, in the way of like rap beat sampling, or people creating like random output data video art, you know, stuff like that. But I just kind of don't think it's worth it. I kind of think that it has this very dark other side, like animation industry displacement, and, you know, some of the more gross, horrific things, like what happened to like Cutie Cinderella and a lot of other people. And yeah, so I think that a lot of people who hate AI, I think that they are very justified in their anger because of all the negatives. I think sometimes there is a little bit of a refusal of acknowledgement of original things people can do with it, because I have seen some artists make some really cool stuff using AI, and then people are like, oh, this is bad because it used an AI tool. And I think that's a little overly simplistic, but what I do agree with is that it is still just like not, I would way rather just not have generative AI to avoid all of the negative pitfalls than I would be like, we have to have this. Just kind of not totally worth it. And then, did we never download Cozy Winter? I could have swore we did. Maybe I just had the code written for Cozy Winter. Hello to anyone who's here. We are doing an After Effects shot where I'm creating this wall of 30 lo-fi girl playlists, and I'm going to be having them move on a 3D parallax for my upcoming video essay. And this shot has been taking quite a number of hours, and it's going to be on screen for about 5 seconds or so maybe, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it, I promise. If there's anything that slows down the production of videos on this channel, it's spending entire work days on shots that are on screen for only a few seconds. What the heck happened here? Did it... Oh, it's still going. Okay, looks like it's literally... Oh, it literally just finished. Best... Yeah, if you're curious, the my H3 green screen competition video I worked on for like 10 hours a day for like a week and a half. That was like 90 hours. And then my roommate, who's an amazing music producer, Dylan Turner, he produced original music for it. We had Ethan at the end of the video sing Pure Imagination from Willy Wonka, and so he had to put in some hours of work too creating that music for me. So yeah, my green screen competition, that was like a 2-minute 30-second video, or like a 3-minute video, however long that was, and I worked on that for 90 hours, like you know, 2.25 full-time work weeks on that thing. However, since I did make it to the semifinals, they did send me some prize money, which I did not even remember was a fucking thing, so that was really cool. That was really cool, getting sent some moolah from the Klein estate. And then the video essay I made on H3, that I think I have clocked as like 210, 203 hours of editing or something like that. So yeah, I'm editing. Most of my life is sitting at a desk editing and listening to music, podcasts, and television. Recently, here's the thing too. When I'm editing music videos or podcast interviews, anything that revolves me paying attention to audio for the sake of my work, that is when I have to 100% lock in and focus. I cannot listen to entertainment while I work, because how on earth am I going to edit a podcast if I'm listening to somebody else's podcast? It's not possible. But when I'm doing motion graphics, like what I'm doing right now, or when I am doing Photoshop memes and trying to get them on the H3 show, anytime I'm doing that kind of editing that is purely visual, color grading, for instance, as another example, or some other fourth thing, I am able to just kind of zone out, disassociate, listen to as much entertainment as possible, and it's fine, because I'm not doing any work that requires me to like pay attention to nothing, you know what I mean? And so I have binged a lot of television. It's gonna be easier if I invert. Nope, it's not easier if I invert it. Never mind. I tried something, thought I was doing something, did not work. What if I up the... it's just so dark. Hard to see. Maybe if I do this? Maybe if I turn off... What do I need to turn off? Is it... Okay, it's just already on dark. Alright. Well, fuck me. Let's grab this, and this, and this. Yeah, so I've binged a fuck ton of TV while doing motion graphics lately, because I've just been cranking on this Lo-Fi Girl video essay. I've worked on it for about like 110 hours. About like 90 of which or so has been since like early August. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna change the colors of the... I'm trying to see the rounded rectangle underneath like easier. It's like... There we go. That makes this shit easier. I was like, there has to be a way to be able to see that under there easier. So yeah, I've been binging a lot of TV while working. And recently, I re-binged all of Better Call Saul in about like 2 weeks or so. There got to a point where I literally like watched all of season 3 in like one day, and I watched like all of season 4 in one day because I've just been doing so much motion graphics, so I just have it on my bottom monitor. And then when I got to the final season and I only had like 5 episodes left, I was just kind of like, stop! I just kind of had to like really slow down and savor it, but alas, I have finished rewatching Better Call Saul. What a wonderful journey it was. And I gotta say, I swear it's like just as good as Breaking Bad, honestly. Breaking Bad gets bonus points because of how fucking good a character Walter White is and how compelling like the meth and cartel stuff is. Breaking Bad gets that bonus point. But as far as just like raw, like on paper, talking about whether it's like a insanely quality show or not, Better Call Saul is like basically just as good. And rewatching it was so fun, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do a video essay on it. I took a lot of notes while I was rewatching it. Something I've started doing is if I'm binging a show, I kind of just keep a Google Doc open, and if I notice stuff, I kind of just jot down like character or plot notes, because now I've just been thinking like, well, if I do this now, then in the future it'll be really, and if in the future I decide to make a video, it'll be like really easy because I just have all these freaking notes on what happens in what episodes and like what stood out to me. I'm always all about like optimizing and making things a bit more efficient for myself, because I really hate wasting time. I have a lot of anxiety and paranoia around not being productive or efficient enough. It's something I need to work on more and just kind of be a little bit more at peace at the process. But ultimately, the good side of the double-edged sword is I am very about workflow optimization, and so taking notes while binging TV shows has been kind of fun for me, because now if I ever decide I want to make a video, it's like all the groundwork is kind of done for me. When I made the H3 video essay, for instance, I wrote my H3 video essay script at the end of 2022. I started working on it in January of 2023. And then some months I didn't work on it even a little bit, just because of life. But then finally in December, I just like cranked on it. And the first week of this year, I think I put in like an extra like 60 hours or so, just like getting it done. And something that helped a lot is I was just kind of keeping a long log of like H3 notes, like for like a year plus, while watching the show, of like, oh, this really funny thing happened on this episode, or oh, this really funny clip happens at this time code. And there were still plenty of times I needed to find clips for that video essay where I just had to like dig through YouTube and Reddit to find, but there was also plenty of times where I'm like, let me check my notes, and sure enough, past me had me set up, and it was awesome. So is there a point to anything I'm yapping about right now? Not necessarily. I'm just yapping because I don't know. Better Call Saul is Shakespearean. I completely agree. My friend said she's gonna make me less productive, and I'm like, good luck. I'm crushing it right now on the productivity. I've actually been more productive lately than usual. I have depression and anxiety, and sometimes those things really get in the way. In fact, I made a video I'm kind of proud of last year when I was really depressed. Last year I was depressed, so I was experimenting more with making really simple videos where I just talk to camera because that's like kind of all I felt capable of. And I'll link it right there. It was called Sometimes You Feel Creative But Unmotivated. It was a little video I made because I was depressed and I wanted to talk about it. And the big inner frustration I was having was that I like deeply wanted to make things, and I even had a bunch of ideas, which frankly for me is often rare. Sometimes I feel like I have no fucking ideas for long swaths of time, and it's really difficult because I'll be like, oh, I want to make things, but I got like nothing to make. And so this video I made was kind of the opposite situation, where I actually had tons of ideas. I was very creative, but I had no motivation to make them. I was very depressed, and the idea of mustering the energy to organize shoots or edit or anything like that was just kind of too much to bear. And fortunately now, I am not in that position because I'm working on this video essay that I actually, believe it or not, really enjoy working on, because it's like a lot of motion graphics, a lot of just downloading clips and that are easy to find. I don't have to like dig through archive after archive to find extremely specific stuff the way I had to for my H3 video or for my late night video essay. And so this video essay, especially now that I rewrote the script and I decided to just say, hey, screw it, let's just get rid of this old version that I don't even like that much or whatever, has been enjoyable. So lately, for the last month or so, I have been excited to hop on my computer and just kind of do motion graphics for a few hours the way I have been today. And I will say they're not all motion graphic shots like this where I'm spending hours on one shot that's going to be on screen for like less than 10 seconds. But even when they are, I just throw on some podcasts, some television, and I just kind of do my thing. If anybody is new watching here, we're doing some motion graphics for an upcoming video essay I'm making on the full lore of Lo-Fi Girl. Believe it or not, there is Lo-Fi Girl lore, and I'm getting to the bottom of it. I'm getting to the bottom of it with my video essay. I'm trying to make this like the definitive Lo-Fi Girl video essay on YouTube, because Lo-Fi Girl is something that I never thought I would make a video on, because like so many people, I was always like, why would I make a video about that? There's probably a bunch of videos on this subject, and so it was something I never really considered. However, last year, something that really impressed me was the short film they put out, Snowman, and I thought, hey, this is really artistically good, and it kind of just made me want to yap about how artistically impressed I am at, you know, what they have accomplished when it was plain enraging when her stream got cut. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about over there in chat. Who is she? Was I talking about somebody who had a stream? I'm not sure I follow, but let me know if I'm being stupid right now and I should know what you're talking about. In any case, wow, I just got fully distracted. What the hell was I yapping about? Oh yeah, why I'm making this video essay. Oh, the Lo-Fi Girl I literally just figured it out as you chatted it. There's a slight delay, and you're about to experience how long that delay is, because when you typed Lo-Fi Girl is when I go, oh, Lo-Fi Girl. Yes. So yeah, I found myself last year being like, dang, Where is the cozy winter video? At this point I thought for sure I had that one downloading. What's going on here? Do I not have that one downloading? What's this video? Oh is correct. Okay, let's have them write that. I swear I did this one, but apparently I didn't. So let's have it write code for it one more time. No. There we go. Hey. Hey, Tom, what's the big idea, huh? I'm gonna make you sleep with the fishes, eh? Okay. But yeah, last year I wound up kind of remarking on the artistic quality and effort that is put into Lo-Fi Girl when they wound up doing the short film. And it kind of made me want to yap about it, all the extra effort they put in. And that is where that is quite a delay. Wasn't aware. I don't know what I have it set to. I feel like it's just on default settings, honestly. I don't think I'm the one who dialed it in. I think the OBS corporate overlords created the delay. And on top of that, when they launched Synthwave Boy last year, I also thought that was like a really impressive and creative feat that they did. And so I looked into it, and lo and behold, there was like no up-to-date video essays on Lo-Fi Girl. And I thought to myself, hey, all these video essays on Lo-Fi Girl that are viral or semi-viral, all the people who milked the views out of this subject a few years ago, they're a little irrelevant right now, frankly. They're a little bit out of touch. They're a little bit not up to snuff. And I thought to myself, hey, I could do a new one that is more complete. It can talk about Synthwave Boy. It can talk about the short films. It can talk about all the new playlists, the lore, the characters. You wouldn't believe how many characters there are in the Lo-Fi universe. There's more than you would think. And I thought to myself, hey, I can be the guy to make that video. But then I thought, why? Why would I make that video? Is it just going to be boring? Is it going to be talking about a subject that has been talked about to death? And the thing about me and my video essays, and particularly when I'm talking about things that I like, I really try to express my love and passion for things that I'm into, because it makes me happy to talk about things I like. And so instead of just making a Wikipedia page into a video, which I think a lot of video essays, that's kind of all they are, to be honest, I thought, hey, I can also kind of make this a thesis piece about the effort and labor and creativity that goes into Lo-Fi Girl, and how it is a lot bigger and more thought out and cool than it ever really needed to be. And I appreciate that about it. And thus, I started making this video at the end of last year. But ultimately, I had to take a break because I was making my H3 video essay, and at the time it felt a lot more relevant to get that out. And so I put this on pause for quite some time, and now I'm back at it. And there's been a lot of new developments in the Lo-Fi Girl world, and so there's only been more things I've had to keep adding to this video. For instance, right now I'm creating this layout of their 30 playlists, like 3 of which, like these fucking 3, no, 4 of which, all 4 of these are like brand Olivia H3. Hello, how are you doing? How are you doing, dude? By the way, shout out this channel right here in chat, not Olivia H3, for helping me get my channel's monetization turned on for my H3 video essay, because I got blacklisted for using the song that's used in the button screen, and the not Olivia H3 channel here they reached out to me. By the way, if you don't mind me asking, not Olivia, what are your pronouns? Because you have your channel, it makes me always think of you as a she, but if you're not a she, then I would love to correct that. And if you don't want to tell me, then don't, but just throwing that out there. Anyways, not Olivia here helped me get my monetization turned on for my H3 video essay, because it was amassing. God, I had like a lot of views before I had monetization turned on. I want to say I had like 40,000 views or something like that, just unmonetized, and I was like, fuck. But now it's made me some money. Well, you know what? I'm gonna check out how much money that video has made me. I'm curious, because I don't really make hardly any money from YouTube since I only have like 4 successful videos. But that video has like 200,000 views now, so I imagine it has made me some moolah. Hell yeah, it's made me $1,100 and 1,600 subscribers. That's a lot of H3 fans. Hell yeah, thank you everybody. It has 189,000 views. That's freaking sick. That's awesome. Shout out not Olivia H3. That is great. Yeah, I was like so upset that was just gonna be an unmonetized video. Some people are like, just cut that part out. Just cut that part out. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make my video like shitty just to make some money. Because ultimately, the only reason it's successful is if it's a good video. And so if I just cut out a random chunk of it just for the sake of making money, who even knows if I'm gonna make the money if now it's like a bad video, you know what I mean? I definitely do everything I can to try to make my videos monetized by test uploading them to YouTube and making adjustments ahead of time, which is what I did with my H3 video, but it was after it was out for a little bit that it randomly got blacklisted by this website. I think it was called like Fidelity Music or some crap like that. Maybe I'm making that up completely. I might be. But basically, I made a free trial on their website, and then because I had an account under them, technically, I was able to go in. They're a music licensing site, so I was able to go into my account and then whitelist my channel by proving that I owned it, and then therefore the music from their service would no longer demonetize my channel. And that method was from not Olivia here, and I appreciated that a ton. I always thought it would be really funny if secretly not Olivia was actually the real one. I thought just the idea of someone running their own fan clip channel to me is like very funny. There's a rapper I'm a really big fan of named Jimmy Poindexter. He actually just put out his own or his new album like 2 days ago. And he's talked very openly about just not having a ton of money or resources. And because of this, he gets really crafty with his promotion. And so like something he did is he like created a fake like magazine publication called The Duality, and he uses it to write articles about himself like in the third person, and then he's able to just like post those on the internet and make it look like he has like a Vanity Fair like style like article on himself. And honestly, I think it's brilliant because like his whole thesis is like, I hate doing this and I hate that I feel like I have to do this, but he was like, I'm broke as fuck and I think I'm like a really good rapper and I don't have time to wait for like rich people from these publications to notice me. He's like, I'm just gonna create the ethos for myself. And so Jimmy has done a lot of things. He made his own Anthony Fantano review of his album, and then that actually led to the real Fantano reviewing it, and he gave it a 6. And if you listen to the content of the review, it's actually very positive. So, you know, because sometimes Fantano will be like, say a really positively worded review, and then he'll be like 6. But if you listen to like what he said, you would think that it would be like an 8 or something like that. So that's funny. Anybody who's watching right now, thank you very much. We're doing some motion graphics for my upcoming video essay on Lo-Fi Girl. Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a nice day. And as I was saying, if you have any questions you want to ask me, go for it. Unless it's like an annoying question that I don't want to answer, and then I won't answer it. But if you ask me a reasonable question that's fun, I will answer it. Thank you so much, not Olivia. I'll ask this one more time and then leave it alone, just in case you stepped away and didn't hear me. And if you don't want to answer this, perfectly fine, no pressure at all. But not Olivia H3. I was curious. I was curious if what your pronouns were, because I always refer to your channel as she because of the title of your channel, but I realized you totally could be a he or a they, and I was always just curious. But also, if you don't want to answer, don't have to. And I won't ask again. I was merely asking just in case you stepped away and didn't hear me ask. But love your channel. Olivia is like one of the funniest parts of H3 in my opinion. Like, I love her inclusion on the show. I think her sense of humor is like so funny. I think that her reactions to things are hilarious. Her opinions are very hilarious. Olivia is just great. And so I think it's fun that you have a channel just kind of dedicated to like her highlights. And then there's the Dan the Hater channel. The Dan the Hater channel is like the same thing, but for like best of Dan clips. And they put out like a 1 hour or so like compilation of Dan in Content Court recently when he was playing the like Florida Dan character. And that shit was so unbelievably funny. I've been like, Content Court is like kind of my favorite thing on H3. Like, God bless AB for show running Content Court for them. And AI Ian was always so funny, but the fact that they have Dan now playing the defense lawyer, he has just been crushing it. Okay, yeah, I'll just keep using she. That's kind of what I figured. It was an anonymous channel thing, and it would probably be easier just to do she. But yeah, thanks for answering, and no pressure. Was just curious. Yeah, your channel is fun. But yeah, the whole I forget what the name of Dan's character is in Content Court, because Panama Dan was the poker Dan character. I forget if he had a different name for when they do Content Court, or if he's just an alternate. Because I know as the lawyer, Ethan always is like, "Swear love, you're out of line," you know. I've had the chance to meet Dan also. I met Dan at Zach's concert last year, and he was so nice. Dan was a very, very nice guy. Foghorn Leghorn. Oh no. Bro, Foghorn Leghorn is such a ridiculous Looney Tune. Fucking just a Kentucky chicken, motherfucker. Yeah, meeting Dan was cool. Very, very nice guy. The thing is like he didn't feel like he was like brushing me off. Like I wanted to talk to him for a second. I could tell he was being like very attentive. Like he was actually providing the time of day. You know what I mean? And people totally don't have to. People can just be like, nah, I'm good. Let's do 0.75. I'm gonna have to bounce here really soon. I'm currently fostering kittens. So I have 4 kittens currently hungry for lunch. I'm going to keep one of them, I've decided, but it's been very hard to decide which kitten I want to keep. Oh, I'm on the last 3. Maybe I can knock these out. I do need to feed them soon, though. I don't want to deprive the kittens of their food. What to do? I know it'll just be so satisfying being done with this, and then I can hit render while I feed them, and it'll run in the background. They're good, though. I already fed them once today. They're not, like, famished or anything. They're good. Lazy. Okay. Yeah, I think so too. I think they all seem real great. And I think that I think they deal with a lot of internet bullshit that they shouldn't have to. To anybody tuning in, we're doing some motion graphics right now for an upcoming video essay on Lo-Fi Girl. Hey, even though this isn't how's it feel? Hello, hi Zachary. The kittens, Sarah, are gosh, about 8 weeks. Yeah, I've been fostering kittens for about 8 weeks or so now, and I'm definitely going to keep one of them. I've kind of wanted my own pet for a while. I live with another cat who's beautiful, who I've known for a long time. But having a little kitten to raise up will be great. You did not interrupt anything at all. You are perfectly fine, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Don't worry about it, and I will answer your question. I kind of sorry, I'm not a good multitasker is all. I'm a very bad multitasker. In fact, the fact that I've been yapping and doing all this really speaks to the repetitive, boring nature of what I'm doing right now. Because if this required me to do like any thinking processing, I would definitely have to just like completely shut up and not. Okay, your question was, how does it feel? Ah, great question. I think it's very fun. I love that show a lot. It is definitely a comfort show for me. It's very funny. I'm a big comedy fan. I've been a comedy fan for a long time. Which feels stupid to say because obviously everybody loves to laugh and live and love, frankly. But the reason I say that is because I've watched a lot of late night and stand-up and SNL and comedy movies, like, as a big part of my personality for, like, a lot of my life. And these days, I think for myself, personally, H3 has kind of replaced late night television for me. I still check out late night every now and again, but, you know, Conan, who's the GOAT, has his own podcast now. He's kind of done with the traditional format. And so for me, Ethan is kind of the closest thing to like, you know, a Letterman, a Conan, you know, that type of a deal. And, you know, it's on the internet and it's live, so it's a little bit more interactive. And so I love and respect so much how talented their staff is and how much they all contribute. And what Cameron used to do is just so cool, coming up with like really funny live photoshops on the spot. And I used to think that, how the hell does he do this? Because I've been using Photoshop for like 17 years. And so I definitely have like the Photoshop skill set, but in the past, when Cameron was still working at H3, I would kind of think like, how does he come up with these memes like so fucking fast? I was just so impressed. And then when they did the green screen competition, since we had like only 2 weeks and I knew that I wanted to make some like big epic thing, I kind of just, I realized that what I was going to make was going to have like a bunch of scenes. And because of this, I realized I couldn't really overthink what I was going to make. I kind of just had to come up with a dumb idea and just get to work. And so I think like I counted, and I don't remember if my green screen video has like 40 scenes or 20 scenes, but definitely multiple tens of scenes, right? And that is because I did not really think that hard about what I was making when I was making it. I kind of just was like, yoip, have a dumb idea, let's execute it. And so after the competition, I kind of thought to myself, you know what? Let's give a crack at making some memes for the show, just for fun. Because frankly, I'm like pretty unemployed. And so I thought, what the fuck else better do I have to do other than my films and my YouTube videos and looking for work and money and stuff. And so I started making some memes and throwing them on Reddit, and absolutely nothing came of it the first handful of times, and I was a little discouraged. But then eventually something I made got on the show, and I was like very like, wowee, this is so cool. And that was the experience I kind of already got to have with the competition. It was like really cool and surreal being on the bracket and having like thousands of people like vote on behalf of something I made. That was, I was getting kind of like trembly, frankly. I was feeling the butterfly jitters. And so, similar feeling the first time I got like a meme on. And then I kind of hit this hot streak where they featured stuff I made like 10 episodes in a row, which is like 2.5 weeks of shows. And that was like a really good feeling. That was like so cool. And so it just kind of made me want to keep going for it. And now, it's just kind of something I do, and it's fun. And that's kind of about it. I think it's very cool getting to be a part of something you love. And I think that that's what most people would want from day-to-day fulfillment, contributing to something they love. And so my main goal in life is like I want to direct movies. I would love to make like A24 movies or whatever, and so that's why I made Tall Skeleton, because I kind of thought, hey, I'll just make my own thing, and hopefully when people watch a video and they see the opening Tall Skeleton graphic, they think to themselves, hey, I like this film production company. I like the stuff they make. This is gonna be good. The way people think that with like A24 and Studio Ghibli and Pixar and Neon and Annapurna Pictures. And so I made Tall Skeleton. That's what's really funny too about kind of being a part of the H3 content community now, is that people refer to me as Tall Skeleton, which makes sense. I'm a guy uploading videos on a channel called that. However, it was never intended to be... Okay, hold on. Where is this downloading to? Why is it not in here? I'm searching for it, but it's not showing up. Okay, there we go. I don't know what I did wrong. MP4... Study session... Yeah, so I never intended for my name or what people refer to me as to be Tall Skeleton. I always intended Tall Skeleton to kind of be thought of more as like a A24, like, you know, like a film production company. But, you know, I'm a independent artist, so I'm on YouTube instead of movie theaters, obviously. Nor have I really released that many short films on this channel. I'd love to do way more, but, you know, I love making video essays and music videos and everything else I do. But yeah, contributing like memes and content and stuff to H3 and having them actually from time to time using it is like a very gratifying, fun, cool thing. And so it's always very surprising for me when people recognize or remember my channel name as the person who made it, because I do not pay attention to usernames on the internet like at all. I do not like remember. I don't know, like if I saw some really good post on like Twitter or like Reddit or something, which honestly these days I don't really ever use Twitter, and then as far as Reddit goes, I've never really been a Redditor. I only kind of started uploading stuff to it this year for like H3 related content. And so sometimes I'll go check in and see if like something I made is like performing well, and then naturally I see the homepage, and then sometimes I see something kind of funny there and I'm like, hey, this is funny. But I never pay attention to usernames, so I'm always surprised when people are like, hey, it's this guy, because I'm like, how did you even notice that? Oh, thank you very much. I will say, not to contradict myself entirely here, but I did try very hard to make a memorable channel name. I made Tall Skeleton back in 2018, right when I was out of college. And I remember my big inspirations for like brands I liked at the time were A24 and 88 Rising. And I remember, this is so stupid, but I remember thinking like the best names are like 4 syllables, because I know like a lot of brands are just a single word, like Nike or like something like that. And even that's like 2 syllables, you know, like let's say like calm. What if it was just, hey, I'm calm? Like it doesn't really stick with you because it's just one sound. And then I realized, like, I think I like names that have like a little like rhythm to it. Dun 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 dun. You know, A23. Dun, 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 dun. So I kind of had it in my mind, I'm like, it should probably be like a 2-name thing. And then I was like, I also decided I definitely do not want films in the name or productions or anything like that. No hate to people who name their things that, but for me personally, I think I felt like it was a little on the nose, and I thought that it would like pigeonhole me. I thought that if I named my like production company something films or something productions, it would create like a preconceived notion of what I do to people. And I very much so wanted to design a channel or a production company where anything I make can wind up feeling like it fits and like it's not out of place. And so what I realized is I like names like Studio Ghibli, A24, Pixar, DreamWorks, Lionsgate. I like production company names it's just a name. It's just like a made up thing. Nickelodeon. See, that's 5 syllables. So, pretty good. And so I remember thinking, it just needs to be a combination of words, just some random thing. And I'm like tall as fuck, and so one way or another I wound up thinking like, oh, I have like a really tall skeleton inside of my body. That's weird, because I was thinking about how most of the time you see a skeleton in society, it's like a classroom one and they're all the same standard height. Or you'll see a cartoon where a bunch of skeletons like come out from a grave and they're all like always the same height. It kind of makes you think of skeletons as like just kind of a thing more than like a being or like something that used to be alive. And I kind of thought about the fact that I'm really tall and how it's like weird that hypothetically, like if you stood up a skeleton from like a 6'5" person, it would just be like kind of a haunting visual. And so I kind of thought, hey, that's pretty cool, and it also fits the 4-syllable test, and so I went with it. Well, actually, I texted it to 2 artists I trust a lot, and I sent it to them with a few other names I had in mind. I wasn't decided yet, and I asked them, which one of these is the best one, and both of them said Tall Skeleton, and I was kind of thinking that was probably the best one too. I was just like wondering if it was like too weird or too random, and both of them were like, nope, this is the best name. And so I trusted my peers, one of which was my brother, actually, who's an amazing designer, and I went with it. And my channel for like 2 years only had 60 subscribers, and hardly any videos. But then the pandemic happened, and I decided to make my first video essay on Tyler the Creator's Igor, and that was my first like viral video, and it brought me from 60 subscribers to like 4,600, because it had like not hardly any views for like a few weeks, and then out of nowhere this one day it just like went up to like 1,000 views, and I was like, no way, 1,000 views on a video I made? That's fucking crazy. And honestly, I still get really excited about 1,000 views, because it doesn't really happen that often, honestly, on original content that isn't like a video essay or like a pop culture thing. When it comes to my short films or music videos, stuff like that, like 1,000 views is like really exciting. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and link my short film I made earlier this year if anybody wants to watch. And I'm gonna go ahead and link this music video I did for Lil Cordy, which is the most amount of work I've ever put into anything I've ever made. And if you check those out, that would be really sweet of you. But yeah, so I made my first video essay in 2020. I had 66 subscribers, I remember. And it had like no views for a few weeks, and then one day it randomly had like 1,000, and I was like, no fucking way. And then like it just kept zooming. I kept logging into YouTube Studio, and then all of a sudden I had 10,000 views, and I was like, this is crazy. And me and my roommate were like freaking out. And then like I realized, I'm like, it's not stopping. It's just gonna keep going. And that was where I was like, no way. And all of a sudden it had like 100,000 views, and I was just like, dude, what the fuck? And so all of a sudden I had 4,600 subscribers, and I was like, what, this is bananas. And the kicker of it all is, since the video essay was very non-controversial, I was just talking about an album that I really liked that was like a year old and pretty popular, I got really lucky where every single comment was positive. The only negative comments I had, and there was very few of them, were people being like, you're insane if you think this is Tyler's best album. I miss fill in the blank. And then people would talk about the other albums that they prefer more. And, to each their own. But for the most part, I was really lucky where my first viral video actually was met with like kind of unanimous positivity and support. And that was really cool. And so from there I just kind of kept going. What's funny is I actually made my second video essay simultaneously. I decided to take a break from my Tyler video essay to cook up an Animal Crossing video essay. And so I actually had both of them finished when I released the first one. And so literally a week later, I put out my Animal Crossing video essay. And I remember at the time thinking like, whoa, what if I could make one of these a week? It's the pandemic after all. That was highly unrealistic, and that was just a fluke that I made 2 back to back. It really took being in like a 100-year flu for that to happen. What was I saying? So yeah, I kind of just kept to it. The second one did not go viral by any stretch of the imagination, but the people who watched it were really nice about it, and so it just kind of made me think, okay, I'm gonna keep making films, I'm gonna keep making music videos. That's like my main passion, filmmaking. But I love video essays, and they're fun. It's a good avenue to talk about things you love, or things you're a little critical of. And so I thought I'll keep making these. And it made me feel really positive that if I just tried really hard to make them good edits and express with full sincerity why I like something or why I think something does a good job, that people would enjoy them. I just kind of disassociated for a second. I just remembered that I'm like talking on the internet. That was crazy. I've been on autopilot this whole time, dude. I kind of forgot what I was even doing or like where I was. That was crazy. Anyways, I'm back from disassociating. My mind and my body are linked again. But yeah, so I made more video essays during the pandemic, and a lot of them didn't really do that well. Like my Hero Academia video is kind of a flop, but I think it's like one of the best videos I've ever made. And so to me, it just goes to show, like, make things because you love them. And if you're lucky enough for people to check them out because, you know, you ask them to, or a friend recommended them, or the mysterious algorithm god put it in front of you. If you make something really good and people actually take the time to check it out, then a lot of time they'll like it. And so my biggest thing is I have a lot of confidence in my self-assessment to make things as good as I can and make sure that I'm impressed by them and I enjoy them, so then that way I don't have to worry or wonder if other people are going to, because I'm like, well, I already made sure it's great. So if other people watch it, in theory, they will enjoy it. And that's kind of how I approach making things. Okay, did I just do the last one? Was there one I skipped earlier I had to come back to, or did I do it? Woo! They're all here. Crazy. Okay. Let's turn off the reference. Boink. Now, let's go to the 3D controller. No way. Okay. So this one's all the way at the tippy top. And then you guys can see what the heck this was all for. Why we're even doing this right now. Is it this? Is this the guy? Trying to remember. Okay, this is what brings these guys in. Okay, you'll notice that there's 120 layers in my comp right here. Highly not recommended. What is typical in a situation like this is to pre-render out crap like this. Oh no, a lot of these are clipped off. Actually, no, just 3. Okay, we're gonna solve this so fast. Watch how fast we're about to solve this. We're gonna take these, we're gonna bring these here, and we're gonna do this. Boom. Well, see, you say you don't know how to do After Effects, but I'm showing you what to do right now. I'm kidding. I know that none of this makes any sense without prior knowledge. But if you ever want to learn, you can come back to this, see if it makes sense to you later after some learning. Okay. So yeah, usually what you would do in a situation like this is pre-render this crap out so that it's not the laggiest thing you've ever seen in your life. But I can't really do that in this situation quite yet because I need these things on 3D and I need them separated. So for now, it is a necessary evil that I have 120 things in one composition, which is not recommended. But let's take a look under the hood. Let's see what's going on. By the way, keep your files and your folders organized. Do not just throw random crap in your projects, all right? You got videos, you got comps, you got audio, you got assets. You know what I mean? Fucking make it easier on yourself. Make it to where if other people work with you, it takes them 2 seconds to find what they're trying to find. Big advice. Keep your shit organized. I say this, but I am not the best at it. It's very easy to become unorganized while editing, but that's why I'm saying it, to hold myself accountable. Okay, so here's the vision, people. Here's the vision. This is gonna rotate. It's gonna have this 3D look because I've made everything have different heights, and then it's gonna rotate into this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach all of this to the movement of this. Now here's the kicker. I need to remember which thing is rotating here. Is it my controller? Is it the video? What is creating the rotation currently? We need to remind ourselves. Let's hit the controller and find out. There's no keyframes here, so it's not the controller, which means it's probably the video. Let's hit U. And look at that, there's no keyframes. There's nothing rotating it. So where the frick is this rotation coming from? I'm gonna hit R, so every rotation here is visible. Where is it? We're gonna scroll down. Hey, look at this right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's solo this. Hey, it's the video. It's the video. So it's gonna spin. And you know what we're gonna do? You see this little marker I left for future me? That's where it should cut off, because when it rotates to here, boink, it should no longer be a thing. So we're gonna cut that off. And now, this video, we're going to, why are these showing up right here? What the hell? Is that really baked into this video right here? It shouldn't be. Hold on. I need to see if this is a mistake. That don't make no sense to me. Let's open this up with VLC, see what's going on here, see what the problem is.
And 27
oh fuck, that is
playlists,
baked in.
all with unique.
Well, that's not supposed to be a thing. I'll fix that later. Let's just scroll this ahead to where it's not there anymore. Boink, let's leave a note. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. This is where the rotation exists, right? Let's turn that one back on. This is where the rotation exists. So we're gonna need to attach this to it. So here's the starting keyframe, and here's the ending keyframe. So it's moving from this rotation value to this rotation value, 180 degrees, right? So this one needs to attach to this movement. So here's what's gonna happen. If I attach it here, we're not gonna get what we want. Here's why. I've now made it to where on this frame, it looks like this. But it's attached to this movement, which means it's going to come in here already the way it should, and then oh, on top of that, it's not even a 3D layer, so let's make it 3D. And then it's gonna wind up here. So that's not really what we want. Although now that I've made it 3D, it did kind of work, but still, it's not right because it's coming in flipped. My shit is flipped. Hey Triller, fix my shit. So let's Control Z out of that. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna unattach it. We're gonna hit none. Okay, let's go to the end frame because we want it to look like this at the end. So we're gonna attach it, but with the playhead here. So we're gonna attach it. And you know what? Let's Control Z that, because really what we should do first is make it 3D. Is now we're making absolutely sure it's gonna look like this at the end. Okay, now we're gonna attach it to here, and now we should have what we want. Boom. That is what we want. Now, if we unsolo these, we will recall that we're going from here with these guys to this. But now we're gonna have all 30 of these fucking videos rotate in too, which is gonna make my computer explode. So let me close out some tabs down here to get some RAM back, for pizza's sake. Let's close that, let's close that, close that. Get some RAM back. I have Photoshop open for no reason. This was me designing the thumbnail. Just close this. Yep. And you know what? I have Premiere open. This is my edit of the video. Right now the video is looking at like half an hour. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of added writing too, so it's gonna be probably like 32, 33 minutes. But yeah, this is the video so far. Here, you wanna see the beginning of the video? Here's a leak. Lo-Fi Girl is special. Sometimes, we're fortunate enough to see a modern classic, a new cultural icon unfolding right in front of us. Her 16, it was channels like Chill Hop Records and Chilled Cow that began to popularize long plays of music mostly intended for background noise, lasting. Alright, that's enough leaking. That's enough leaker hours. Let's get out of there. You guys can enjoy it when it comes out. Okay. So, we're gonna see this one I might fix up a little bit because this one is awkwardly taller than the rest. These are little details that don't really matter, but if they bug me when I watch it, I know it's gonna bug someone else, and that's why I feel compelled to fix it.
27.
Okay, so now all we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of these and we are going to attach them. Well, actually, how stupid of me. We're not going to do that. Here's the thing. All these videos I'm selecting right now, they're attached to this controller at the top I made for this section. So what I'm going to do, since they're all already connected to something, I'm going to connect the controller to the rotating video that the background is connected to. So we're going to keep the playhead right here. And we're going to connect it to layer 112. Let's scroll back up here. Gonna go here. Now we don't have to drag this all the way down there because we are gonna hit this and we're gonna go down to 112. Also, Zachary, just so you're aware, there's quite a delay. Everything you're hearing me say is like a full minute in the past, I think. 112. Alright, let's see if this bullshit I just did for like 2 hours worked.
And 27 song playlists,
Whoa,
all with
that
unique
looks kinda
animations
cool.
and locations.
I feel like it could look cooler, but... Okay, are some of them coming in behind the video? Because look, oh, or maybe they're just blocking each other. Something about After Effects is it doesn't really have like playback the way a video file has. It has to render everything that is happening in real time. If I change one attribute, it has to re-render. So that's why playback is like choppy and slow and crap.
And 27 song
Yo, that looked fucking nice.
and 27 song.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pre-render this out.
And 27 song playlists.
Sick. Okay. I'm gonna pre-render the rotation. Export, render queue. And then bear with me for a sec. I'm just gonna turn off my screen for a moment. Video say, yep. Okay, we're back. Let's go to export, pre-render live streams to playlist Y rotation V1. And we will make the bitrate 25. Hit OK. I'm curious how fast or slow this may or may not go. Let's find out. Render. Yo, that went instantaneous. Let's go. Okay. And I'm gonna make a new folder for pre-renders. Let's see here. Where'd it go? Y rotation. There we go. Let's put this up top. Turn off the volume. And now, if I hit solo on this,
and 27 and 27 and 27 and 27 and 27 and
You'll notice in the rotation I say that there's 27 playlists, but there's actually 30 on the grid. That's because Lo-Fi Girl keeps publishing new fucking playlists, and here's the brutal truth. If they make another one of these before this video comes out, I'm gonna have to, like, redo this. I'm gonna have to, like, find a way to retcon all this work. So, in reality, it was a little stupid of me to not just save this shot for the very end, which I'm now realizing right now. I'm gonna knock on some wood that they don't publish anymore. But yeah, I think that shit's looking real clean. I think that's looking real good.
and 27 song play.
Nice. Okay. Well, here's the anticlimactic truth. I am fostering some kittens right now, and they need to be fed. And so I'm gonna bid everybody adieu, a fine afternoon. And the truth is after I feed them, I'm probably gonna go right back to editing, but I don't really want to start up a whole second stream. And also, talking publicly to the internet for like 2 hours is a little draining. So, honestly, probably just gonna have some alone time editing, maybe throw on some TV shows. If you guys have any, or YouTube videos, if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. But for now, all I can say is I linked some videos to watch and chat if you scroll up for messages from me, Zane. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're not. And I have 154 videos on here to watch, and a lot of them only have like a few hundred views. So I put equal love and care into everything I put out, whether or not it has like 2 million views or 200 views. So check out some of the stuff I got going on here, and hope everybody has a wonderful, lovely Saturday. And let me know in the comments after the live ends and comments become available, not the live stream chat, but the YouTube comments. Go ahead and let me know if this was fun, if you'd like me to do more of these, what was your favorite aspect of this, and I'd love to do more of these streams if people are down for it. I'm hoping I did not lose a bunch of subscribers, but yeah, everybody have a wonderful Saturday, and check out some of my other stuff because I got a lot of crap on here. By the way, I have a secret other channel for gaming. I have gaming shit over here. I'm gonna try to put out a Smash montage soon, and there's also my my burner where I just upload bullshit, like music that I just kind of want to listen to, or like interview clip. I have like DVD extras for some of my music videos, and yeah, so just go ahead and check stuff out. Anyways, goodbye, happy Saturday, Avita Zane, farewell, and thanks for being here.